Hey guys, this is question number 24 from the June 2024 Algebra 1 Regents exam. This is the last question from the multiple choice section. I'm going to wrap this up and then make sure to post all of the videos and put them in a list. It says, which function has a domain of all real numbers and a range greater than or equal to 3? Okay, so we're going to look at each one of these functions and we're going to determine which one has both of these, meets both of these requirements. So basically the domain has to be from a negative infinity to a positive infinity. That's the same thing as all real numbers. And then the range has to be greater than or equal to 3. So that means 3 up to infinity. That's what we're looking for the range. This is all real numbers, by the way. All right, so this is what we're looking for. We want this. So let's go look. All right, the first one is just a linear function. Linear functions, the domain is a negative infinity to a positive infinity. The range is a negative infinity to a positive infinity. And the reason we know they're going to infinity is they're going off the screen, which means these would have arrows on them and arrows go forever. All right, so now let's go and let's graph the next one. The next one is x squared plus 3. Now this looks like a candidate. All right, I'm going to move this down a little bit. All right, so first thing, the domain, it's going off the screen. So the domain means it's going to go. By the way, it's not only going up, it's actually going out to the left too. This one is not only going up, it's going out to the right as well. So the domain is the left-right part. So it's going left forever, it's going right forever. So that means the domain goes from a negative infinity to a positive infinity. So that first one checks. Now, I'm going to use menu 62. And I'm just going to start here. So it's telling me that the bottom of the graph starts at 3. The y value is 3. And we're looking for the range that goes from 3 to infinity. So it starts at 3 and it goes off the screen, which means it's going up to infinity. So it goes from 3 to infinity. So that is the one that we want. It's going to be number 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and circle number 2. But I'm going to look at the other ones too, just to show you. Just for practice. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to type in 3 to the x power, which means this is exponential. And you know exponentials have that asymptote. So the asymptote for this is 0. But let's do the domain first. So this is going off the screen, so that means it's going out to a negative infinity. This one is going off the screen, which means it's going to the right to a positive infinity. So the domain is a negative infinity to a positive infinity. Now the range, this one is it's gonna get closer and closer to the x-axis, but it will never touch it. So that means the range goes from 0 up to infinity. And this is how we would write it. So I'm going to go back over here. So it would be the domain for for number 3, I'm going to put it here, would be a negative infinity to a positive infinity, but the range is going to go from 0 and it's parentheses. Because remember, please do not touch my asymptote. So that means that we never touch the 0. We get closer and closer and closer, but we never touch the 0. So if we can't touch it, then it can't be included. So it's parentheses and it goes up to infinity. So that's that one. And now let's do the last one. Now this video is a little longer than it needs to be, but this is just practice. So we go here and now we're going to put the absolute value. Remember, absolute values is in the key next to the book. And then we're just going to put x plus 3. If you remember your transformations, this is going to shift it to the left 3. If you don't, doesn't matter. Now, domain, it's going off the screen, so it's going to the left forever. It's going off the screen, which means it's going to the right forever. So the domain for this is going to be a negative infinity to a positive infinity. But the range, we got another issue. So I'm going to do menu 62 again, and I'm going to start here. and I'm gonna, I'm gonna start here, and I'm just gonna pull it by, and it tells me that the domain or the range, the y value starts at 0 and it goes up to infinity because it's going off the screen. So the domain for this one, if I were to go back over here, would be from a negative infinity to a positive infinity. That's the domain. The range is going to go from 0 to a positive infinity. Now, here's the difference between number 3 and 4. This one, we're actually touching the x-axis, so that's why we include the 0. This one, the exponential, is an asymptote, where even though it looks like it's touching the x-axis, it's not. Please do not touch my asymptote. So that means we get closer to the 0, the x-axis, but we never ever touch it. That's why I put parentheses around this one and a bracket around this one. All right, that's a little bit of an education, but the answer was number 2. You could have stopped. You could stop the video earlier, but I think this is good practice. All right, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and I will try to answer them. All right, I'm going to stop and post.